Number of viewers for WNBA games that Caitlin Clark is not in is like 3 to 4 million. When she's in the game, when it's her game playing, it's like 17 million.
Yeah. Well, I also look at the attendance in the arena.
Yes.
It's 8 to 10,000 everywhere else. Caitlin Clark, 17, 18,000.
Without Kane Clark, the WNBA is struggling to make it through the semifinals and finals, and things are not looking good.
That the game speaks for itself, but it's also in the numbers. Just look at the difference in All-Star votes compared to last year. A'ja Wilson led with just under 100,000 votes, and this year Caitlin Clark is leading with a little over 700,000. What a difference a year makes.
If the WNBA had handled things better.
The WNBA is currently suffering greatly and is finally discovering the Caitlin Clark effect, since games without Caitlin Clark have much less spectators.
Caitlin's departure, do we think that these new WNBA fans are going to stick around for the rest of the playoffs? The Liberty Aces series might be one that draws some numbers. The disparity between 1.8 million and around 400,000 is wild, especially with football season being in full swing.
This type of issue would not have arisen if the WNBA had been smarter and prohibited referees from ambush her. Since watching games isn't the same as watching Caitlin Clark, supporters are now reluctant to do so. Look into this. Clark went to play golf while observing the spectators. It's safe to assume that the WNBA would have grown significantly if Caitlin had been in the playoffs at this time.
All the women that have been calling for the equality, and now that there is the chance for them to start getting paid more because the exposure's up. Because it's her, you have people like, what's her name, Jamelia Hill or what? I can't stand her.
Yeah.
You got these women who are coming on here and they're saying it's because she's...
Caitlin encountered some difficulties during her season. Analysts, journalists, and fans are doing everything they can to undermine her. However, she has consistently maintained her composure at press conferences. In a challenging setting, Caitlin dominated the league and balled out. This is how fans and experts appeared, trying to suppress this generational talent by making every possible excuse.
I don't know if I'm going to put Caitlin Clark on the USA team. If we put Caitlin Clark on the roster, we're going to get tens or even hundreds of millions of fans to watch our game. And we sell out every game, even our exhibition game. Those things just don't matter. Women's basketball has never been about millions of people watching or selling out arenas. Come on now, give me some good reasons. Caitlin Clark just scored 30 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists in front of 20,000 people. And in that game, she tied the rookie record with 7 made 3-pointers. I just don't see how those stats are important. I mean, she missed USA tryouts in April. Yeah, that's because she was playing for a college national championship. She couldn't do anything about that. That's not her fault. I'm just saying she could have been at USA tryouts if she actually took the...
During her time as a student at the University of Iowa, Caitlin Clark enthralled the basketball world before making her indelible impact on the WNBA. Not only were her NCAA performances outstanding, but they also revolutionized college basketball. Known for her long three-point shooting and scoring explosions, Clark frequently produced astounding performances that left coaches, spectators, and analysts dumbfounded.
Now that Caitlin Clark is out, and again, like I said, she brought a whole new fan base. And I'm not going to say it was one race or another or one type of person. I believe that all different types of people really started embracing Caitlin Clark. Female, male, black, white, young, old. Caitlin Clark is just a superstar. That's what happens when you have a star in a...
After that, Caitlin emerged as a league star, and it was obvious that she would never let anyone down. The supporters who had followed her from Iowa were thrilled to see how her skills would transition to the professional ranks, and they weren't let down. Every time she took the court, she put on a show that validated the excitement around her entry into the WNBA.
This season, they were the most watched team in the league. An average of viewership, 1.1 million viewers each game in the regular season. Other games listed to this paled in comparison, drawing just about 394,000 viewers on average.
Beyond the figures, what really set Caitlin stood out for her capacity to uplift everyone around her. A player dominating on their own is one thing, but Clark constantly improved her teammates. She was able to create opportunities that many other players would just miss thanks to her court vision. Additionally, she led the Fever to a number of significant victories during the season because to her leadership on the floor. She was frequently the person her team looked to in crucial situations, even as a rookie, and she nearly always delivered. It became evident that Caitlin Clark was more than just a talented young athlete. She was already among the WNBA's most important players. She attracted an unparalleled amount of media and fan attention to her games. Additionally, the WNBA saw right away that Clark could become the league's spokesperson.
Since Caitlyn has joined the WNBA, we've now earned enough money for every single team to fly private. So if we put her on the team, we're going to be able to fly private all the way to Paris and back. We have been fighting for private flights for so many years in women's basketball, but I mean, we can go back to commercial. That's something the league has been asking for so long. And now Caitlyn has literally given that to us. All right, I made my decision. Okay, good. So you're going to put her on the team. The world's going to be so excited. Caitlyn Clark has brought us millions of fans, hundreds of millions of dollars, and private flights. But at the end of the day, that's just not enough.
The Indiana Fever appeared to be a club on the rise for a large portion of the season. With Clark leading the way, the Fever possessed all the components of a squad capable of going far in the playoffs. The Fever's fan base, which had expanded dramatically during the season, was full of optimism that they would be able to establish themselves in the postseason.
Hey, I'd just like to say congratulations to Caitlyn Clark, #1 player on the planet right now. Let's go ahead and do this game today. You got your hands full. You're probably nervous because it's senior day. It's the last one here, but this crowd's gonna carry you through. So just keep focused. I know as soon as you drop that first three, it's gonna be all over.
But such expectations were swiftly shattered by the first round of the playoffs' best-of-3 format. The Connecticut Sun, a formidable foe with more postseason experience, was paired with the Fever. The series format made it difficult for the Fever to win, even if they had a chance. They lost because of the best-of-3 playoffs rule, and Caitlyn had to leave early.
Talked to the GM in Connecticut, and I said, Darius, let's go back to Indy. Let's have one game in Indy. He said, there is no way I'm going to do anything to allow my team to get out of this arena. And I said, well, I won it. I said, because we will have 19,000 people ready for you. He said, I don't want to go back to Indy. But our players deserve.
For the Fever, the absence of a home game was especially distressing. As was already mentioned, the Fever possessed one of the WNBA's most fervent and devoted fan following, regularly drawing up to 20,000 spectators to venues. Particularly for a young club like the Fever, that kind of home court advantage may make all the difference in a playoff series. Caitlyn Clark's first season ended abruptly and disappointingly as the Fever were ultimately eliminated. For the Fever and the WNBA as a whole, the entire series seemed like a lost chance. The remainder of the playoffs would suffer as a result of the league losing one of its top stars much too soon. Following the Fever's elimination, the usage of a best-of-3 format in the first round of the playoffs has drawn a lot of criticism. The WNBA lost a significant chance to present one of its top stars on the biggest platform, despite its efforts to expand its fan base and boost viewership.
2023 season, the WNBA had grown by 40% viewership from 2022 to 2023. But with Caitlyn Clark's arrival, it's grown by 400% viewership. What that means is if the WNBA were continue to grow at the rate it grew from 22 to 23, it would take until 2028 to do what Caitlyn Clark did.
For instance, the NBA's first round of the playoffs follows a best-of-5 format. As a result, teams have more time to adapt, bounce back from early setbacks, and develop drama over a series. However, that same kind of dramatic build-up is not possible in the WNBA's shorter playoff series. It is possible for a best-of-3 series to end before it ever starts. That's precisely what happened with the Fever WNBA, which continues to strive for greater presence in the sports world. Creating as many marquee moments as you can is crucial. In an extended series, the Fever may have had the opportunity to turn things around, return to Indiana to play in front of their home crowd, and continue the Caitlyn Clark show for a few more games. Rather, they were eliminated after just 2 games. They also took a sizable chunk of the WNBA playoff audience with them.
This group accomplished that, a lot of people probably didn't think was possible, one, to start the season, and 2, after the start we had to the season. So, yeah, it'll definitely be probably a little weird for me over the course of the first couple weeks, and then I'm sure I'll get bored and pick up a basketball again, so.
The league's viewership figures were immediately affected by Caitlyn Clark's elimination from the playoffs. Fan involvement in the WNBA had significantly increased during the regular season, mostly as a result of Clark's performances. For many casual viewers who might not have previously watched the league, she had emerged as the main attraction. However, those viewers started to lose interest as soon as the Fever subsided. The figures told a story. Following Clark's departure, attendance at the games fell precipitously, and even high-profile contests involving other celebrities like A'ja Wilson and Breanna Stewart were unable to sustain the same level of public excitement. They were keeping an eye out for Caitlyn Clark, and their enthusiasm diminished in her absence.
Noise that I don't really listen to, honestly, because I'm in season. I have other things that we need to worry about than what other people have to say. I have a scout. I have 11 other minds on my team and in my locker room that we got to make sure that we're on the same mindset. So I really can't give you the best answer on that because I really don't pay any attention.
The WNBA should take note of the decline in viewership that followed Clark's departure. Clark had given the league a much-needed boost, since it has long struggled to compete with other major sports leagues in terms of media attention and broadcast ratings. The league has benefited from her ability to attract fans through both her on-court performances and her increasing media presence. But now that she was gone, the WNBA had to face the fact that its smaller, more specialized audience existed.
Hey, I'd just like to say congratulations to Caitlin Clark, #1 player on the planet right now. Let's go ahead and do this game today. You got your hands full. You're probably nervous because it's senior day. This is the last one here, but this crowd's gonna carry you through. So just keep focused. I know as soon as you drop that first three, it's gonna be.
Losing one player isn't the only factor contributing to this decline in viewership. It has to do with losing the momentum that Clark had established during the season. This momentum was vital for the WNBA. In recent years, the league has made progress, gradually growing its fan base and garnering greater media attention. However, the abrupt passing of one of its biggest performers and the ensuing decline in fan enthusiasm have highlighted how brittle that momentum can be.
I feel like after the break, I still don't think she's dominating, but she's a different player than she was in the first half of the season.
Caitlin has been the target of hate speech from the media for a large portion of the season. However, the media and the WNBA itself didn't fully get the significance of the Caitlin Clark impact until after she was eliminated from the playoffs. Viewership surged when Clark was playing. People watched her play, and videos of her highlights went viral on social media. However, there was a noticeable change when she wasn't playing.
Caitlin Clark is box office. She is a star. But you've known they were coming for you when you were waving your hands in your face to mock Caitlin Clark when you were beating her for the national championship. And so you knew they were going to come for you. You had to know that.
The media soon realized that the league's viewership was significantly impacted by Clark's absence. They also started looking at how crucial she had become to the WNBA's success. The WNBA was clearly hurt by Caitlin Clark's elimination from the playoffs. The postseason still has a lot of stars. A.A. Wilson was the most prominent of them. Wilson, one of the league's most powerful players and a two-time MVP, was hoping to add another championship to her already stellar record after leading the Las Vegas Aces to the playoffs once more. Wilson's leadership and extraordinary talent, however, did not allow her to duplicate Clark's level of fan interaction and viewership in the league. Wilson is not being disparaged here. Although she is still regarded as one of the greatest players in the world and is adored by WNBA fans, Clark's appeal has become increasingly distinctive.
At that point, some of us felt like maybe she hadn't proved it in the WNBA, but at this point, she certainly has.
Wilson has long been regarded as one of the WNBA's best players, and her postseason performances were truly amazing. Even though Wilson was performing at a high level, there wasn't the same sense of enthusiasm surrounding the playoffs as there had been when Clark was still in the running. This illustrates the various kind of attractiveness that players may possess. Wilson is unquestionably a star, but Clark had a way of enthralling both casual viewers and ardent basketball fans, giving fresh vitality and interest to the game in ways that few players ever had.
I gotta say, me and you, we were talking about this girl, Caitlin Clark. Oh, let me throw this out. By the way,
it wasn't that anybody didn't think she was going to be successful or not play. It was just that we felt the other players in the W deserve shine as well.
After her team's early elimination from the playoffs, Caitlin Clark decided to take a long vacation from basketball, which is one of the most important parts of her narrative. Following a demanding season during which she had ongoing emotional and physical difficulties, Clark declared that she would be taking a more than 200-day break from the game. She has the opportunity to rest, heal, and concentrate on her health during this respite. However, it also begs the question of what Clark and the WNBA will do next. After what has surely been one of the most hectic times in her life, Clark sees this pause as a chance to refuel. Any athlete can suffer from being in the spotlight at such a young age. Furthermore, Clark's demand for recuperation is reasonable given that he has been bearing the burden of being one of the league's biggest players. The demands of being a professional athlete, especially one who is subject to as much attention and pressure as Clark, are reflected in her choice to leave the game.
Basketball has really consumed my life for a year. So I feel like it'll be good for me to kind of reflect back on everything that's happened. Like, I feel like I didn't even have time to really reflect on my college career because it ended so fast. I feel like taking some time to myself and really enjoying that and reflecting.
for the WNBA. But Clark's absence is a major setback. Her performances had been causing the league to gain momentum. And there's a serious chance of losing that momentum if she stays out of the picture for a long time. For any sports league, the playoffs are the most crucial period of the year. Additionally, the WNBA will struggle to maintain the buzz Clark had created and keep fans interested without one of its top stars. The WNBA's reliance on particular stars to boost viewership has been shown by Clark's departure, and if the league wants to maintain growth in the upcoming years, it will need to broaden its appeal. The WNBA's ability to provide its fans with excitement and talent as a whole, rather than just individual players, will determine the league's destiny. We all know that Caitlin will be missed, and we are eager for her to return to the stage. Please subscribe and leave a like if you liked it. There are more videos displayed.